Okay, people, let's get into some spoilers. So in my last video, I reviewed the new movie Halloween Ends by David Gordon Green. It's the team that brought us the previous two movies. They're capping off their trilogy. I liked it. I thought it was good. Probably the best of the three. Obviously, it's first watch, so take that with a pinch of salt. Great music, pretty decent performances. I thought some really good character work done. Like I say, I wanted to get into some spoilers, just to go a bit more in depth about what I liked, why I liked it, what I didn't like, why I didn't like it. I said in my review that this movie plays almost like the love child of Jason Goes to Hell and a particular moment from one of the Halloween movies, and obviously now that we're into spoiler territory, I can tell you which Halloween movie that was, and particularly which moment. And that moment is from Halloween 4, which ended on the cliffhanger of Jamie Lloyd seemingly having been touched by the evil of Michael Myers and becoming essentially Michael Myers. That was the thread that it set up, which never got paid off in Halloween 5. Like one of the big issues with Halloween 5 is that it never paid off that brilliant ending from Halloween 4. And it always made me wish that Halloween 4 had been the last one, particularly in that timeline. If you're gonna do a sequel to that one, which they filmed back to back as well, which makes you think that okay, they've got a plan. There's a through line here. They're filming them back to back. No, it's just because they can make them cheaper if you do that. That was basically the gist of it. That was always a notion that I felt was worth exploring. This idea that if Michael is the personification of evil, or if evil is driving him somehow, can that be passed on like a virus? Can that be, can he touch someone so deeply that they become the very evil that he was? And that was the idea that Halloween 4 set up, and it was such an intriguing idea. And I feel like this film takes that idea and runs with it. Not always successfully, it's got to be said, but I feel like that's the essence of what it is. It's seen the fan reaction to Halloween 4, particularly that ending, and thought, let's explore that. So we get this character of Corey Cunningham, played by Rohan Campbell, and he's basically this kid who, at the start of the film, he's supposed to be babysitting, and the kid is basically, he's a little pain in the ass, shall we say, and he's playing games with this guy. He locks him in a cupboard, and just as this kid's parents get back home, this young man, Cunningham, he kicks the door open, not realising the kid is right behind the door. It smacks into him and pushes the kid over the ledge of these very tall stairs and basically kills him. Now, that's a great setup because it plants this seed of sorrow, this seed of darkness within this young man. He is now, like as I explained in my review yesterday, he's acquitted of murder, but the town never believes that to be the case. The parents don't believe that to be the case. They blame him, they accuse him, so he knows he's killed someone, he knows he's responsible for the death of a child, and he carries that burden on his shoulders. So when he meets Alison, Laurie's granddaughter, the two of them kind of connect because both of their lives are steeped in tragedy. Both of their lives are connected in some way to death. Basically, they can see stuff in each other that other people wouldn't. And I like that relationship. I like this character, this new character. I feel for the guy. The film takes a bit of a weird turn. And like I say, it goes down that Halloween 4 route when we discover just where it is that Michael Myers has been hiding for the past 4 years. basically in a sewer. So for reasons, this kid ends up down this sewer with Michael Myers, who looks like he's going to kill this kid, but then stops. And it's like there's a transference there. It's like in that moment, and I like I say, this is one of the problems of the film, because it leaves it wide open for you to you have to read everything into it. All we get from a viewing experience is that this troubled young man is touched by Michael Myers, and Michael Myers lets him go. And later on, the kid asks Alison, did she survive the attack from Michael Myers because Michael let her go, or because she got away? Which obviously that's playing on his mind. He's wondering, why did Michael let me go? So that sets up this whole notion that, yeah, Michael let him go for a reason. And the only reason I can think of as a viewer is that he saw something in this kid that could be passed on. You know, he saw a vessel that he could implant his evil in and keep it going, keep it spreading. That's all lovely theory and stuff, and there is stuff in there that kind of props up that theory, like when Michael touches this kid around when he grabs his neck, it feels like he's about to strangle him. We see in his eye all these flashes of what happened with the kid, almost like Michael is seeing it. Michael sees the damage that's been done to this kid, realizes he's perfect for kind of molding in his evil form. So, like I say, it's all really scattershot in the way it sets that stuff up, but it is there. So I appreciate it. I appreciate what they're going for. But the important thing that comes after that is, how do you explore that? And the question is, do they do it satisfyingly? And I'm a bit on the fence with it. Like I say, I only one viewing, so next year or whenever it is I decide to watch it for the second time, it might fall apart. I don't know. But this time around, I was like, no, you know what? I'm willing to go along with it. I like that they're going somewhere different. I like that they're exploring a different avenue, a la Jason Goes to Hell. But as I said in my other review, I think that will alienate a lot of fans. It's not a better film than Halloween 4, I don't think, but at least it tries to explore the issue that was set up in Halloween 4, at the end of Halloween 4, which is this notion of evil being passed on. If somebody can be so traumatized that they leave themselves wide open to let things in that otherwise they would be guarded against. It's an interesting idea. I do think also that it makes this guy ultimately a very tragic character, because like I say, at the start I liked him, I felt sorry for him. It just felt like his life, he just got dumped on in life from one stage to the next. But then there comes a turning point in the film where he kills someone, and it's just like, okay, now you've crossed a line that you can't come back from. And it's like, you're hoping for redemption for this kid. You're hoping that he's going to turn around and reject the evil, but he doesn't. And it's just like, okay, you've left yourself open, you've let it in, and now it's corrupting you, and ultimately it destroys him. So it's a good exploration, I think, about evil, about the nature of evil, which was always the thing that I think the original film particularly was interested in exploring. I think some of the movies lost their way a bit in that regard. They were too focused on the bloody kills and all that without actually having anything to hinge it upon that was worth saying or worth talking about. The way in which the screenwriters and David Gordon Green tell the story, at times it just felt like it could have done with a bit more work. You know, like they get us from A to B in various spots through means where you're kind of like, okay, that it works purely from a writing, the writers needed something to happen and this is the way they've gone about getting it done. But it kind of, if you think about it a bit too much, you're kind of like left thinking, really? Really, would that happen? Like, so at the end of the film, Laurie, she phones in this call. She's trying to kind of throw this Cunningham kid off the scent, and she knows he's outside and that he's ready to pounce, so to speak. And she phones the police during this particular moment where she phones in a call to the police saying that she's going to commit suicide. Basically, she wants to report a suicide, meaning her own. And then we get the sheriff character, or the ex-sheriff character played by Will Patton, phoning Alison to say, hey, what's going on with your mum? She's just phoned up to say to report a suicide. It's like, what? Why would you do that? Like if Laurie Strode genuinely has committed suicide and is phoning the police to tell you that she's committing suicide, what, you're going to phone her daughter first and send her there so that she can find the body? That doesn't make sense, and that's quite cruel, in fact. I don't know, that didn't make sense to me that he would do that. Rather than just going straight round to the house himself. But obviously, they didn't want him being involved in the final confrontation with Michael Myers. They wanted Alison to be involved in the final confrontation with Michael Myers. Which also kind of means there's no real payoff for Patton's character, given everything that he said in the previous movies, where he was like, I've got to be the one to kill Michael Myers. But then everybody was saying that. But yeah, I think to have him involved in the final confrontation, along with Alison and Laurie Strode, I think would have paid off some of those character moments that were kind of established in Halloween Kills. But yeah, whatever. I get why they did it, but it felt like a lazy writing method to just get Alison into that house at the end of the film. It feels in this film as well like they've touched on the possibility that there is a supernatural element to Michael Myers. That's something they kind of avoided up until partway through Halloween Kills, when they suddenly started hinting that maybe he is, the more people he kills, the stronger he gets. Like there is some kind of supernatural element to him. And I feel like they throw more hints of that in here, and then kind of seem to suggest that actually, no, there isn't. Particularly with Laurie's line of dialogue, that you're just a man, and then she kills him. And I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like they want to have their cake and eat it in some ways. I think, either give us the conclusion that there is something supernatural about this guy, or don't. I feel like they kind of don't, but if that's the case, then don't give us so much about the possibility that there's something otherworldly going on with this guy. Yeah. How they destroy Michael Myers' body at the end of this film was pretty disgusting and very definitive in its ending. I think it lives up to the title in that respect. That there is literally no way of doing a sequel to this without going down the supernatural route. So, if they do a sequel to this in which Michael Myers is back, then it's supernatural. Otherwise, yeah, he's definitely done. He's gone. He's ground up to mincemeat, and it was absolutely gloriously disgusting to watch. Anyway, as I said in my non-spoiler review, I gave this film a 3.5 out of 5. I did enjoy it. Whether it lives up to repeat to that on repeat viewings, we'll find out. For now, it's 3.5 out of 5. That's most of what I want to get into right now with regards to spoilers. I will hopefully be doing a spoiler talk panel with Cody Leach and Willie Screedia and hopefully some other guys over on Cody Leach's channel at some point during the next week. So look out for that. And yeah, as I discuss it with those guys, I'm sure more stuff will come out. But yeah, that's it from me for now with regards to my discussion on the film. But if you have anything you would like to say about it, please do leave your comments down in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video, and until next time, cracking.